Yuri, this is a very, very dicey, situation. Fuel subsidy has its own pluses and it has its own minuses. But when you weigh it, whichever one that is heavier shall be dealt in that direction. Globally, fuel subsidies, it's because Nigeria is producing fuel, and unfortunately, we are not refining the fuel we produce, crude oil we produce, and that has actually affected. And we are living in the mentality in the old mentality, where when we produce crude oil, we just simply take it to Port Harcourt, Wari, or Kaduna, refine it, and sell it within ourselves. That is the mentality we are living in, but that is not anymore. We are now importing fuel, and we are importing it at international prices, and that actually triggered the subsidy. That means that government is spending money that it does not have, So we actually have to look at it and address, it squarely. As I have said, it requires leadership. It requires leadership and to take such a decision. Whichever government, that is coming in 2023, the APC government that is coming, for example, will have to address this issue of fuel subsidy head on. There is no any two ways about it. But before doing that, we really have to address the issue of wages and salaries of public servants, of the university lecturers, so that when the fuel subsidy is removed, which will actually result in inflation, their salaries are not wiped off through the purchase of food items. There will be crisis. So government will have to really carefully set up a committee of experts to come up with decisions, that will help the situation. I could remember, I'll have to, go back to history and remember, in this country there was a time fuel was increased from 8 naira to 11 naira. And the Petroleum Trust Fund was set up. This 2 naira was given to the Petroleum Trust Fund, 2 naira per liter. And this Petroleum Trust Fund did wonders across the country. They employed a lot of professionals and other people. They did a lot of projects across the country and has helped government and Nigerians, achieve some level of development with just 2 naira increment of, price of petrol, and I think we need something innovative in that direction, something that will address, our problems without necessarily, putting so much pressure on the population. And that will have to be done through, a deep study, a deep, commitment by the government, a very decisive action, that must be taken to address the situation, because it is not really wise to keep subsidizing fuel that we're importing. And government will also have to, license, just like the way it has licensed other modular refineries and the Dangote refineries, more refineries, so that there will be availability of fuel everywhere. And with respect to crude oil production and export, Nigeria will have to address the issue of crude oil theft, five-line vandalization. We have to address this. And I advise the government to actually overhaul the security system in our oil production facilities in such a way that our exports become seamless like those of Saudi Arabia, so that our production, export, and storage are all digitalized in such a way that, the government can monitor it right from here in Abuja. You can see anything and everybody, involved in that from here in Abuja. That's what the Saudi Arabians are doing. And that's how they are maximizing their, crude oil exports. We have to do that.
A lot of
we
secrecy.
Have to have more choice.
Back home here, a lot of secrecy, as you well know, is involved in this whole aspect of it. So people don't really see all of the picture. It's as if, people in government allegedly only want you to see what they want you to see. Because it is only one person that is in charge. We can't have everybody knowing everything, and therefore So I imagine that's a problem. But beyond all of that, Mr. Maidugu, I've also heard talk about, you know, in Nigeria here, there are no independent candidates. So you must be of a party in order to run for election. But I'm hearing that some people are beginning to look at who are the candidates. So in addition to a party, there must also be a candidate that people feel, or candidates that people feel can actually deliver, even if we don't have independent candidates. Give me your thoughts on this matter, because if you go by party, I don't know, PDP reportedly, you know, has disappointed. That is in the view of somebody over time. APC has come along. People are not exactly ecstatic about the performance of APC to date, even though there are all the challenges that are being explained from time to time. So this whole matter about beyond the party, look into the people and see if these people sound like somebody who can deliver, people who have track records, people who have bases, that kind of a thing. Tell me how influential you think this is going to be as we go into this election. Because all of the things you've been talking about are very difficult subjects for politicians on a campaign trail to be talking about. They're not populist. And ordinarily, they say politicians overpromise. Might there not be that danger too if we're not careful?
Well, you see, I will have to talk about each of the political parties. PDP is not a new thing to Nigerians. We have the records, and it's not impressive. And those on the ballot in PDP are not people that are new. They have been there, and they have been doing it. They have been contesting the elections, you know, in the past. And there's nothing revolutionary about PDP, absolutely nothing. They have nothing to give. That's a fact, you know. On APC, we have a candidate that is, I can say, new, in the sense that he has never contested election at the national level, and he is contesting this time, and he has a mission, and he has a vision, and he has exhibited his experience, his competence, his capacity elsewhere in Lagos State, for example. And it's on record that Lagos State is one of the top 5 economies in Africa, if it's a country. And this is actually made possible by Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I believe he has everything to give Nigeria. And I think we should tap from his experience, knowledge, capacity, and competence. And he has an able deputy, an able, you know, helping hand in the person of Senator Kashim Shettima, who also has a track record. I have a lot of things to say about Senator Kashim Shettima, you know, with his performance.
You work with him very closely.
I just gave only one
example. But I'll tell you
example,
what, Mr. Maidugu,
you know,
I beg your pardon for interrupting
I worked with him very closely.
Forgive me for